One thing I've been wondering about though, because we're wondering about this H1N1, and I've noticed that there's a lot of conspiracy theories on the internet about some people think that it might have been created in the 1930s, and then so there's other theories that it could have been released in the 1970s on a U.S. Military base, Fort Dix. Do you have any comments or thoughts on this government involvement in this?
Look, when it comes to the government and when it comes to anybody, you just have to look at what they've done before to decide, whether or not you want to trust them now. And so, when it comes to the flus, pig flu and bird flu and all these things coming from military bases, when it comes to all these reports of places like the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta, which is not a federal health agency, it's a military agency that's responsible for managing the response to these things, FEMA and other agencies. You just have to look at the work they've done in the past to go, you know what, they've lied before, they've lied about this type of thing before, they run the same scams over and over again because they teach us to forget history. We got to know history. Those who know history are not condemned to repeat it. That's actually a bit of a falsehood. Those who don't know history are condemned to have the people in power repeat history on them. So it's not on you, it's on you to understand how the people in power work and why they recycle these scams, including the possibility that they either manufactured a virus, which is possible, or something way, way easier, which is that you simply take people, make them sick with vaccines, and then say, we got to give you more drugs, and you keep the cycle going. And that's generally how it works. You might go to a hospital sick. The side effects of the drugs might make you sicker, and the hospital's in business. So just stay away from all this stuff if you can, and look into the history of what the government's done with things like the swine flu and other flus, other flu scares. In the 70s, there was a same swine flu scare. The vaccine killed a bunch of people. The flu apparently killed hardly any. Healthcare workers and others are refusing to take a shot. EMS workers are refusing to take the shot, and it's important that we, the average people, Canadian citizens, support them and say, look, you're risking losing your job for not taking the shot. So while I have no such constraints on my actions, I can get out there, hand out a few flyers, put a few pictures of women and children on them, ask men aged 25 to 45 to defend them because, hey, if it doesn't make sense, don't. If it does, then go ahead, guys. And at least get some empathy for the times we live in for each other so that we can understand, what our logical response should be to things like mandatory vaccines.
Swine flu. Okay. First off, from what I heard, if you use your logic on this, when they came out the mad cow, you can see all the cows being slaughtered in England. When the bird flu came out, which is a reincarnation of the Spanish flu in 1919, what they did in China, or the Asia rather, they killed off flocks and flocks of birds. So what do they do with the swine flu? Do they kill off any pigs? No, they don't start off at the source. So that kind of got me questioning. Then about a week after, 2 weeks after, I heard on AM 640, on the John Oakley show, I believe it was, one doctor from Mount Sinai, he says that the swine flu in Canada has been modified. Modified means government intervention. So your government is using your taxpaying dollars to kill you. So much for democracy, huh?
I'm just warning everyone I know not to take the flu shot. It's got all kinds of disgusting ingredients, including aborted fetal tissue. How did you like to put that in your blood? So, of course, it's got the mercury and it's got tons of live viruses. They've already started killing people in trials, and that's all been hushed up. So, the flu shot is the pandemic.
As they travel through your capillaries, what happens is your large white blood cells are constantly attacking them. That's your stimulated immunity. Large white blood cells attack them when they float through your capillaries, these foreign particles, and crush and collapse and clog your capillaries. That's what cuts off blood supply to different organs, causing them to malfunction. That's why autistic kids look like they've had a stroke, because the blood supply to their brain and the sixth nerve and these different nerves is being cut off. So that's what Dr. Andrew Molden's proved. I won't say any more, sir, because there's no point. It's a nice day. You can enjoy yourself. But I'm going to give you this site, and you can see if the science is bad. I might be wrong, but it sounds good to me.
Well, I'm sort of wondering what peer-reviewed papers you're citing your sources off of.
I will give you the peer-reviewed papers. This has all been proven by doctors.
Which doctors, though?
Dr. Andrew Molden. Here's the thing, and others. Dr. Sherry Tenpenny, there's lots of them.
Regular viruses have a lineage, a pedigree, as they say. So they can trace it because, they mutate over time. but this one has no lineage, and it's a combination of pig, bird, and human, and that doesn't happen in nature. So you know, it's been released as a public bit of information that it came from a lab. You know, it's not widely reported, but it's out there. So that's not in dispute.
And we're hearing that there could be the mandatory vaccines going in Greece. Do you think this is going to be happening worldwide?
Well, yeah, it stands to reason. You know, this is coming from the World Health Organization, otherwise called the World Homicidal Organization. They're dictating the policy for the world. So, you know, we're going to have our form of mandatory vaccines. I'm not sure what the Canadian situation is, but I heard about the U.S. situation where they're claiming it's voluntary, but if you don't volunteer, then you're going to be quarantined indefinitely. So it's like being imprisoned for not going along. So how voluntary is that?
You bring that in school, and you don't have to get caught.
A mass resistance will foil their plan. So that's why we're out here on the street trying to spread the word. I'm personally contacting everyone on my list and you know, telling people my thoughts, and I'm forwarding information on it so they can read about it and check it out further. So I think that's a good idea for people to do who are aware. Just contact your entire list. Yeah, we got to do it like your life depends on it, because it does. And we're trying to fight the eugenics program for mass depopulation. So yeah, surprisingly, the elitists of the world, they figure that they're done with us. They used to consider us a small asset, but now we're a liability. So we must be gotten rid of. And besides, that's the eugenics philosophy. Is eugenics, the root word means good genes. So they're claiming that they have the good genes, and not only are they claiming that they have the good genes, it's their duty as a eugenicist to dispose of the bad genes. So that's what they believe. They need to get rid of us. So, you know, if you believe that you ought to be gotten rid of, then don't do nothing, and you'll be gotten rid of. So otherwise, fight back, you know. So, you know, do you want to live? Do you want your prodigy to live? Hey, you know, think about it.